All right, well, good morning. Good morning. I want to thank you all for coming and really thank all of you. We were getting reservations and inquiries until past midnight last night for this conference. I want to especially thank and welcome all you folks up in the Diker Pavilion. If you can hear me up there through those rafters, we have 620 folks, and there's some folks here, and there's a lot of folks upstairs. So welcome to all of you, and thank you for making the time today to come talk waterfront with us. I want to thank John and the museum. You guys, a big round of applause for all of the staff here at the museum. They've been stunning. And especially those security guys. They did a really great job. Hand for the security guys out front. Here, here. They're doing their job. I want to thank our sponsors. If we can put that up there. There we go. All right, so for the premier sponsors are the New Jersey, New York Harbor Estuary Program, Con Edison, our conference sponsors, New York Container Terminal, Entertainment Cruise Lines. What a nice cruise on Entertainment Cruise this morning. How about that? Yeah. National Park Conservation Association, our conference supporters, the Durst Organization, HDR Engineering, Hudson River Foundation, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Statue Cruises, a good cruise coming to late tonight, New York Shipping Association, and our contributors, the New York City Economic Development Corporation, SF Marina, MWH, McLaren Engineering, AKR, Halco, and Brimmy's. And those of you, and you know who you are here on scholarship or here at a reduced rate, extra loud applause for these sponsors. They made it possible. It'll be hard to think that I got a call last night from my friend Tom Fox around 9 o'clock, and he said, Roland, I just want to congratulate your staff for doing such a great job. And I said, well, Tom, I can put you on speakerphone. You can congratulate them right here. But these guys have been working, and it's not just the staff, it's their interns, volunteers, a whole crew. Have been working through this holiday weekend. When I find out who scheduled a conference 2 days after the holiday weekend, I'm going to go have a good long talk with myself and figure out what I was thinking about. But to Courtney, Emily, Dash, Ian, Lewis, the whole, everybody, Becky, just a big round. They worked so hard for this. A big round of applause for my staff. All right, well, there's critical logistic information I'll give you when we're done, but right now, just to tell you, we've already had our boat ride. This is our plenary session. We're going to have 15, count them, 15 panel discussions, packed with information. We'll have lunch, a working lunch for those who want to work and talk more waterfront. For those up in the, I'm sorry, what's the room upstairs? The Rotunda, pardon me, and also in the Diker Pavilion for those who just want to hang out and enjoy a box lunch and not talk waterfront for a little while. And then we'll have more of our panels. Then we're going to have another session at the end of the day, toward the end of the day, at 5 o'clock, where we're going to ask the moderators or their representatives all to come here, all 15 of them, give you headlines, because you can't go to every single session, tell you what happened during those sessions, and finally, for those of you who have the stamina or the desire to get onto the boat and maybe have a cocktail, please come join us for one final cruise on the harbor to call it a good day. All right, so let me tell you what we're here for. The real reason we're here is to figure out what to do to get things done, to implement. We're here to talk. You'll hear lots of talk about the Comprehensive Restoration Plan, an incredible plan to restore the environmental beauty of our harbor. You'll hear about the Comprehensive Waterfront Plan, this incredible effort the City of New York has undertaken to plan the harbor, the New York City's portion of the harbor. But plans enough are not alone, we know. We need to call ourselves accountable. When I was 5 years old, I think I had a plan to become an astronaut, but that didn't quite work out so well. But maybe it did work out for the space program. But we want to make plans and actions that will implement things. And this is in your packet. You can look at it later. I hope you'll enjoy it. It's a draft. It says draft right there. But it contains information and benchmarking and accountability ideas to talk to ourselves about how we're going to be able to make our waterfront a better place. How many docks are we creating? How many miles of shoreline are made adaptable for the sea level rise? How many oysters are back in the harbor? So many how manys and what ifs, but we have to start to measure ourselves to know that we're creating a harbor that will be good for this generation and generations thereafter. That's the work we're going to do today. But before we start, I do want to start with a note of remembrance. As many of you know, the MWA lost a great leader just a few weeks ago. That's John Solomon, and he passed away from leukemia after a tough battle over a couple years. John was an incredible fellow, and I'm proud to call him my friend. He came to the waterfront, and he was sort of half proud to say, you know, he could barely swim. He's not a water rat. But he came to us through the Harvard Business School's Community Partners program, which came to the Municipal Arts Society, our parent, and they were saying, what are we going to do with this waterfront project that we don't know? It seems exciting and big, but we're not sure what to do with it. So he and some of his colleagues came in and thought about it, worked on it. It was supposed to be, I think, 6 months, but it turned out to be 6 years, but eventually decided that it needed to be its own organization. It had to be a strong civic to do the work of turning New York and New Jersey Harbor inside out, reconnecting us to our waterfront. So John was critical in thinking of that, and just like the guy from that Remington commercial, he loved it, the idea so much he bought the company. He became a trustee, and the trustee that really would do anything we asked. He headed our development committee. He was an officer. He did most anything we would want him to do and we needed him to do. He was always there for us. John, you know, in some sense, is the reason well, maybe in every sense, is the reason I'm here. I'm not a water rat either. You know, I love the environment. I love paddling. I get out, but you know, I'm not the maritime roots that many of you have. But John showed me that if you know, loved and thought about it, and I think his brain was excited by the idea of recreating his hometown, but his heart got captured by his trips he took with his family and his kids, his 2 daughters, to the waterfront over and over again, finding and exploring. And he said, you know, I can do this a little bit, but I could do this much better if it was a better waterfront, and not just me, but millions of kids around this metropolitan area should be able to do it. That's what I think really drove John and his work with us over time. So normally in times like this, I ask for a moment of silence, but John wasn't a silent type at all. John loved debating ideas. He loved intellectual vigor. So let's dedicate our work for this conference to John and do it in the fashion he would do it, with intellectual curiosity, with honest debate, with grace and with humor. So please do that for John's memory and for the benefit of our waterfront. Thank you.